Hi, I'm Chef Eric Brenner from Bold Organics. We make allergen-free food products, especially our gluten-free, dairy-free frozen pizzas that are in stores now. One of the requests we had was for a pizza sauce, so I'm actually going to show you one of our pizza sauces. This one is actually made with garden tomatoes. So if you have garden tomatoes, you don't really know what to do with them, this is a great way to approach them. First on is I have boiling water, and I have an ice bath, which is just crushed ice or ice from your refrigerator and water. So what we're going to do with each of these, and I've already started, is you make a little X in the bottom with the knife. So I'll show you this one here. You just make the little X. You can kind of see where I did that. You do that to all the tomatoes, and you don't want to take, usually you core out the center. You don't want to do that because actually that'll allow a lot of water to get into the tomato. All we're doing here is we're throwing them into the hot water to blister the skin. It'll peel off real easy. So I'm just adding these in. Just pull them right off the vine. Drop them into the water. And this is only going to take less than a minute maybe. And if you have any tomatoes that aren't exactly beautiful, I've got one here that's a little bit beat up, that's fine. It's just kind of part of the deal. So I've got those in there. I'm going to pull my ice water forward. And I've got a little strainer that I'm going to use. Now what you're looking for is just for the skin to start to kind of peel away from the tomato. It should happen pretty quickly. While I'm doing that, I'll talk about the tomato sauce that we're going to get into afterwards. For that, I have fresh garlic, a little oregano, salt and cayenne. I like the heat from cayenne with tomatoes. We've got a little bit of sugar, and then we've got some fresh basil leaves, and I'll show you how to wrap that up to make a chiffonade. So here the tomatoes come. You can see how they've cracked completely around, and you want to stop the cooking process so they go right into the water. And you'll see as soon as they hit the water that they'll actually start to lose the skin automatically. There's a couple more there. And I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about here. I'll get another bowl for them to go into. I'm just going to you'll just see how the skin just kind of peels right off. So I'm going to go ahead and peel some more of these tomatoes. Then we're going to get them cut up. We're going to get them put into our pot again with our other herbs and garlic and all the goodies in there, and we'll cook it down. Okay, so we've got all of our tomatoes peeled. I'm going to set these aside. And this is what they look like. So, you could go an extra step and actually remove the seeds. These actually don't look that bad, so I'm just going to quarter these and add them to the pot. And these are actually beautiful tomatoes. They were bright red and really smell amazing. So these smaller ones I'm going to go ahead and add whole. And then I'm going to start cooking these guys down. So I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil in here. This is going to start the cooking process with the aromatics. For the aromatic, really, I just have a lot of fresh garlic. This is just finely sliced. Add that right into the center. I've also got some oregano, about a half teaspoon or so. I talked about the cayenne, so I'm going to be adding a little bit of cayenne in there. And I'm going to add some salt, just about 2 tablespoons. And you hear everything kind of going crazy in there. I'm going to add a little bit of black pepper as well. And then we'll go ahead and cook this down. Now, the tomatoes will start to break apart. The olive will start to cook. Everything will start to kind of jive. The last thing we'll do is we'll add a little bit of the tomato paste. We're going to let this cook down a little bit. And then I'm going to add a little bit of water. And what I'm going to do is just kind of break these up a little bit. Kind of stir everything together. And I'm waiting to add the water until I see how much liquid comes out of the tomatoes. There's a lot coming out of these guys. Okay, so our tomato sauce has been cooking. This one usually takes all day. There's an old saying in Italian kitchens where I came up where you can never stir a tomato sauce too much. So turn your heat down, let it go all day. This one's gone for quite some time. Right before I do anything with it, because these are garden tomatoes and I'm not sure exactly how they're going to be, is you just give it a taste. You want to check for the acidity. You want to check for how much. We're going to add a little bit of sugar, but we want to make sure that we don't add too much. Really, we're checking for salt as well. So the cayenne is really kicking in that, which I love. And add a little more salt. And then I'm going to do a chiffonade of fresh basil. A chiffonade is just a fancy word. We get our leaves here, roll them up like a cigar, and you just want to slice through them. You'll notice when I'm cutting that the knife never leaves the board. You just want to do a nice push-pull motion on the knife, not a chopping motion. Otherwise, you'll bruise the basil. You won't actually cut through it. So I've got that nice basil. We're going to add that into our sauce. We're going to add I've got about 2 tablespoons of sugar here. The sugar acts to mellow out the acidity that the tomatoes naturally have. There's actually a citric acid in there. So what this is going to do is smooth out the spice that I've got from the cayenne. It's going to mellow out the acidity that we have from the tomatoes. The basil is going to give it that great basil smell and fragrance. And that's it on the tomato sauce. Now this is going to be a little bit loose. It'll tighten up as it cools. Or you could also add more tomato paste in there if you want it thicker. You could also cook it down longer. But this is my fresh garden tomato sauce. And that's going to be great on pizzas. Be sure to check out bold-organics.com for this recipe and other recipes, and I hope you enjoy it.